Welcome back. Let's check in with the Divine Feminine and what I see coming through for you this week in the mix. Welcome back. We're here to do the Divine Feminine update for you weekly. And if you do want this content ahead of the crowd, you can come through and get it via a YouTube membership. Very separately, remember to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss anything that's landing. And we will get straight into the read. If you do wait and you want more information, it is at the end of the video. Now let's get tucked into it. What we are seeing this week in the mix for Divine Feminine, I do believe you're between two portals, especially from a spiritual point of view where it does come to you versus other people. You are really looking for this energy of passion, and it can be initially as we are moving into the first week of this month. We are really recharging, reviewing, reflecting. We could have felt as though spiritually we were really looking at our successes in life and our hierarchy and our tribe and our values. With this renewed, it's like you probably don't even know really where to start. This card drops down to a 5. We did just previously have the moon in Capricorn, and we are coming up for another moon in Capricorn, and it is this turning point. It did go from the lower degrees to the higher degrees, and I believe the Divine Feminine here, especially with this card in the reversal, being fire, the element of fire, it is to do with the passion of Divine Feminine. Again, I do feel you're trying to reassess what changes to make. Some of you initially could feel everything is impossible. It's like, where do I go from here? What am I passionate about? Where is my supercharged energy? We also could come through extremely traditional and realistic, and it could feel a little bit like a Debbie Downer, especially where it does come to us actually viewing our spiritual path. As we are looking to the past, we do have a possibility of communication, but it's in the past position. And you know, I really get this vibe that for Divine Feminine, it's the things that aren't said. It's dissecting things. It's looking at feeling peaceful with our ability to communicate and being understood. A lot of that can come down to a particular transit we physically are having at the moment, which is Jupiter and Gemini. And I've seen a lot to do with our understanding of information. And it definitely, for me, came up at my second job. We were actually noticing communication styles. You know, some individuals wanting us to be mind readers, some individuals needing direct examples, or so that, you know, really looking at that with the individuals in your life, including with your twin flame, you know, it is positioned in the past position. You could be making peace with some information that's coming in. I also feel these things are very, very psychic in nature. However, in the heart of it, you don't know if you're motivated with certain things. And a lot of this can come down to, especially if you're not physically seeing your twin, for instance, you could form an opinion and you could say, well, you know, at this point in time, I need to make peace with things. I don't really know what to do. How would I rise above the situation, the circumstances out of my control? So there is something that is stirring within the heart chakra that is transforming. And I believe as we do reach the new moon phase, a lot of that is going to be shifting up a notch. Yeah, there's this feeling around contracts, partnerships, relationships, connections, tribe. There has been a lot going on. I don't know why I'm getting Freya as you know, an analogy coming through. That, you know, very strong Divine Feminine we're tuning into here. That has been really, it's almost like turning lemons into lemonade, or turning a blank canvas into a masterpiece. You're able to do that right now. You're not really sure what you want to manifest completely. You're not really sure how to go about doing something. Something is going to be changing, but you're also realizing you're wanting to set yourself up in a more stable fashion, in a more long-term view. And again, you know, we did have Pluto in Capricorn. It is going to ingress back into the sign. This can make us extremely old school. where we can be reviewing old foundations, coming to things with new understandings. But it's almost like we've spiritually had a soul walk in, and we're very different individuals now. We could be going to back to the past of some idealistic viewpoint by society's standards, so to speak. But what I do believe is this is actually going to shift yet again. So if you are embodying this may not be a permanent thing, although you could be coming to it and making very bold decisions at this point in time. And I just really guide you to be very cautious of that, because I do see this spiritually shifting. But this, really trying to look at the past, and, maybe the writing was on the wall with certain things, especially with the sun coming here, and trying to make peace with the direction you're going. I do believe some more messages spiritually going to come to you. And I do think this is to do with your, it's not just the physical platform in life, but it's also the metaphysical platform in life. And you're trying to find a harmony between the both. You're trying, like Dana Scully and Mulder, from the X-Files, you're trying to find the harmony between the both, because both exist, both are necessary, both from a foundational point of view and a spiritual point of view. So you're not wanting to forsake your spirituality. You're not wanting to just do the eat, pray, repeat, grind, because there's a goal that's in this, ultimate far distant place. You're wanting to have some reprieve, as per se. So you're trying to find the harmony in both. I do see from the bottom row, again, I do see there is a foundational level of healing and recovery. And for some of you, this can just be something as simple as you're recovering from the last few months, post eclipses, post Mercury retrograde, post ingresses. And so from a spiritual point of view, there is some healing that you're undergoing. There's some changes. This also can be to do with your image, to do with your wellness and, nurturing yourself. And so there's some blurred energy happening there, especially showing up on the card. So I do think, again, that is going to be something that is really going to be clearing. Yeah, this has really impacted you, especially wanting to be open inside of connections, one-sided transactions. You may very well find these circumstances that have led you to the path you are standing for today. Broken promises, broken dreams, the wound within the heart chakra. You also could have a revelation to do with a karmic individual. There could be a bit of a mirror going on. And sometimes the mirror isn't that you're reacting in a karmic fashion. It's that maybe you've walked a mile in a person's shoes and you're having a sudden revelation of the reason why maybe a particular karmic in general is reacting in a certain way to manipulate circumstances. So, it could be that you just have this download, this revelation. You also feel as though also you want to get your funky back. You want to get your sass on. You want to feel attractive, beautiful. You also are very instinctual at this point in time. If something's been hidden from you, there can be some old wounds that do surface, especially with the Chiron energy, with the lotus flower sitting here. What you are wanting to manifest, you want something quite pure. Now, it's not to say that when we say we're trying to manifest in something pure that we're perfect, or that there is some perfect ideology to do with the circumstance that can be real. It's more you're wanting more transparency. You're wanting to really have that trust within a relationship and to rebuild in a very positive way. But there could be a lot to do with head and heart. There could be a lot to do with your twin flame path. I'm noticing the DNA strands here. And the sixth house can be your habits, your patterns, the reason why you come to be who you are. A lot of us do have revelations after a lot of these patterns that we end up exhibiting are due to experiences we've had. And that's where Chiron comes in. It's really beautiful. It can really aid us to break those patterns and not hold on to them as a complete foundation, because they were merely based on a circumstance that happened to us. And constantly having that PTSD and feeling that we have to be extremely protective. It can be that we turn it around instead and we say to ourselves, okay, what did I learn from that circumstance? Now, when applying myself to a connection, whatever this is in relationship to, because wounds can occur in various areas. How can I go into the circumstance really differently and not allow this wound to tell me some false prophecy that every circumstance is going to be exactly the same? While we were healing, yes, it is very possible that those circumstances were. But in fact, had we actually changed during that time? Were we requiring more in our life? Were we saying to ourselves, okay, I'm really picking up on some red flags here. I think I need to step back and protect myself. No, probably not. So in fact, if you are really going through that transformation and you've noticed that you're being very cautious, we needn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We can be open. And I do feel from your emotions, you have a wealth of wisdom. You're coming through as moonlit goddess at this point in time. And the dream can be coming true, but some of you this week in the mix could possibly find, with Neptune gearing up, ready to go retrograde, some of your dream states can have a lot of imagery, a lot of messages. But I also feel if you're spiritually feeling you're not living the dream, suddenly the logic could come in, very Saturn and Pisces. You particularly could be getting to a point in your journey over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm warning you ahead of time, keep this video. It's going to be great information for you as we are going through this transition this month, especially kicking off at the beginning of the month. The reason is, if you do become suddenly disillusioned and you have these very logical, realistic downloads of, I need to change my direction, I need to change my viewpoint, oh, this is never going to happen, any of those sort of circumstances going on, Neptune can bring disillusionment. I would say be very careful of pacifiers during this time with both Saturn and Neptune retrograde. We can have psychic attacks. We can have psychic revelations. We also can be having a lot of things to do with our mind wellness. So again, there are beautiful companies out there that offer the wealth of service and support. We do have the YouTube membership if you need somebody to talk to, and other people that are very like-minded with positive mindsets to actually help you through this, that you don't have to go through those things alone. Separately, we do have Better Health. That is all over YouTube at the moment, and you are able to actually utilize them during both Saturn and Neptune's retrograde. They would be a very good option. Not that I have used them, although I have heard very positive reviews. Do your research and choose what you feel spiritually is best for you. We also will have a disclaimer, as I do not promote anything to do with medical, emotional, financial. However, if you feel it's something that you need, use your intuition and do what you will. Now, for the spiritual attribute of things, bear in mind there are distinct possibilities you could get disillusioned. So check in with yourself. Am I tired? Do I need to rest? Will I look at this situation differently? If I'm rested, if I'm grounded, if I can just take a moment, journal. Go and do something productive. If it is going over old ground and you are going back into that Chiron energy, what you might find during this time is a very positive way you could deal with this circumstance is getting to a place that you directly feel that you can look at the emotions of the past and you can release the vibration. If it is an old situation and you've gone over old ground and it's it's sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, it's like, this always happens to me. Give yourself 5 to 10 minutes grace and then hop out of it and come back to this logical, practical, grounded sense. You also can do anchoring in. Keep an eye on the Schumann resonance, because this also can be with these transitions spiking and going through some transformers. I definitely feel from a spiritual point of view, you could see a lot of people at the moment going through some very big changes. I also feel you are in the mix of it. And some of you are wondering when your actually dream is going to come true. And the funny thing is, by facing these realities and looking at these things, it could be that what's being triggered and manifested is already in the ethers for you. I'm noticing up here, we do have this vibration really coming through where you directly are wondering what all this cape is about. And as we do proceed forward, you know, the Chiron energy and the alchemist energy is really about manifesting. And I think a seed has already been planted. Something from the past can be coming back to you, information. This also can be a blast from the past coming through. And as we proceed forward, what I'm seeing is you may be feeling nothing's changing, but I really can't wait to see what's coming up next week, because instinctually, I do directly feel your genie in the bottle is on its way. We will check in with you next week. Now, if you do want all the information about what products and services, what we offer, stay tuned for this message.